So we have come on our journey today after we left Uncle Danny's. We are here at the Texas Barbecue. Brisket, ribs, and chicken, and sausage, and pork, and an old-time butcher shop. And so we're going to go in there and get some brisket, some potato salad, and then we're going to take it to the camper and eat it. So I'm going to shut this thing off right now. Good morning. Today is the 31st of October, and we are at the place where Lewis and Clark was found dead. Lewis Meriwether, not Lewis and Clark, pardon me. So here is a monument, the Natchez Trace Early American Trail. So I'm going to focus over here. The Natchez Trace, a very old trail, was traveled by many early Americans. Captain Meriwether Lewis, leader of the Lewis and Clark expedition and governor of the Upper Louisiana Territory, died near this point in 1809 while traveling the Natchez Trace to Washington, D.C. with his expedition. Journals and accounts. In 1843, the state of Tennessee created Lewis County in his honor, and in 1848 erected a monument over his grave. The Natchez Trace played an important role in its service to the American military. General Andrew Jackson troops traveled the Natchez Trace to engage the British during the War of 1812. So here is a historical trail, and I'm going to walk some of it later with Leah. But right now, we're going to walk over to the cabin. By the way, it's a recreation. There's the cabin there in the distance. And we're going to go in there. There's a little museum. And we'll see what there is to offer in there. So let me shut this off, and let's go look at it. So we parked over there. I don't know when they did this recreation, but supposedly this is where the original cabin was. And let me go. I don't think there's much on that sign. So let me go in here and see what's going on. Oh, good for you. So, just to give you a short 4 years after Meriwether Lewis's death, President Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter paying tribute to his friend and protege. Jefferson's deep admiration, respect, and pride are apparent, and are reflected today in the many ways Lewis is honored. So here's a recreation of the letter. So I'm trying to think of the lady's name that ran this boarding house. I'm not sure that I'm not sure that it was a boarding house or what. This cannot be a recreation because he was upstairs. He was upstairs in the boarding house, and she heard a shot.
Well, no, I don't think this is meant to be a boarding house, is it?
No, well, it's recreation of something. I'm trying to figure out what happened at Grinder's Stand.
Oh,
yeah.
We have to go across the hall for that.
Here we go. No, we don't. That's where the...
You said information across the hall. By the management,
On the afternoon of October 10th, 1809, Meriwether Lewis left the old Natchez Trace and sought shelter at an inn called Grinder's Stand. Mrs. Grinder and her children made Lewis welcome. He slept in the main cabin. Mrs. Grinder and the children in the separate kitchen, and the servants in the barn. The full details of what happened that night may never be known. We do know that bleeding from 2 gunshot wounds, Meriwether Lewis died just after dawn. You may explore accounts of that fateful night by looking through the book to your right. Look out the window to see the original hearthstones from Grinder's Stand. Oh, so look out the window. I'll have to go outside.
Yeah.
I don't see any stones from this window. Why don't you read about it and tell me? Okay? A life cut short. I wonder how old he was. May 18th, 1810. He died close by the common path. I gave Grinder money to put a post fence around it, and he gave me his written promise he would do it. So there's Alexander Wilson, ornithologist and friend. Letter to Alexander Lawson, May 10th. Okay, so
he's in an unmarked grave somewhere. Interesting.
No, he's not in an unmarked grave.
Initially, Meriwether.
He says I gave Grinder money to put a post fence around it.
And then they put a wooden fence to keep the animals away.
So then they put a monument over his grave.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so we need to go to that monument. So Meriwether and Lewis Clark explored this. Louisiana Purchase territory. And so here's a map of where they went. So they started in St. Louis, and they went all the way to the west coast, and then they came back. Okay, so let's go shut this off, go outside. So here it says the Grinder House. So that's how Grinder's Creek and Grinder Creek Road got its name, from the people that had the cabin. So here you can see part of where the fireplace was. So there's not much left, but that's okay, because we know there was a cabin, and Meriwether Lewis was in the cabin. Wait until I get to you. So we're done here. So he had 2 bullets in him. Now, if you're going to commit suicide, how does that happen? And that's what the official cause of death was: suicide. But Mrs. Grinder says she was out and about and she heard gunshots. So it's very strange. It's never been solved, his death. So now we're going to go look exactly where he was buried.